Hello everyone, I wanted to show you a little project that I'm working on. It's the Garrett AT Pro middle stem. Comes with this sort of steel bar, loads of holes drilled in it for different heights. Once you know what height you're going to be at, you don't need all those other holes in it apart from the first two, like this one and this one on each side, because those are used on both ends to fix it. Right, so I bought on eBay, I bought this carbon fibre tube. Now it's as close to the original size as I could actually get. It's quite a bit lighter than the original, not that it makes that much difference at all really, but what I had to do was I had to work out a way of marking this hole here. So basically line them up, mark out from the center of that one across onto this one, and the center of this one across here as well, and do that on both sides, because then you don't, I mean it's slightly longer than the original, but you don't have to actually cut that down. You still keep it this length, as long as each end, like if you do this end, you just move this end here and mark these out on this end, move these down, mark these out on this end, and then drill the holes out. You drill all the way through. What I use is you get some like masking tape for painting and just wrap it round the pipe, and then make the cross mark for where you're going to drill the hole, drill it out a small hole to begin with, and then progressively get bigger. You can check what size holes these are. I'm guessing, let me just have a look on my micrometer on these holes. 6.5 millimeters, and the next one is 10.11. So an 11 and a 7 basically. 11 mil, 7 mil. So yeah, get them holes drilled out. Smooth them off with like a little file, little needle file, and then on the carbon fibre, because you've drilled it and that, it will sort of splinter off. So what you need to do is, after you've drilled the hole and you've filed it down, you've got it to where you want it, sort of go around with some super glue on like a cotton bud and just dab it around the hole to seal it, so that it's kind of not going to fray out inside or outside when you put it together. Right, I'm going to show you how far I've got with my one. I mean, this was a spare one. I did order 2 bits. Yeah, something else you will need to sort of make a note of if you're doing this is this this plastic, the end of the stem that joins onto this middle shaft. This bit actually, the original, goes all the way up, and here's the bit that I had to cut off because it's not required. And if you imagine, like, this is where it actually, mine actually stops here, because look, there's the hole. So the inside is actually still inside the carbon fibre. Let me get back a bit. So it goes all that way in, which is more than enough. Whereas before, it was going in a ridiculous amount, and you don't need this. And if you did have this on here, because you have to sand down this plastic a little bit to get it to fit in by 1/2 mil, you'd have to sand more than twice as much as you need to. So what I did was I kind of held this up against it, worked out how much, bearing in mind you need to calculate when you cut this, you're going to have to drill a new hole. So you cut it like where I cut mine there, and then I held this up to get the distance between the end and the holes. And you take this little bit pops out of the middle of it, you squeeze it together with some pliers or something and pull it out, and then you just put it back inside it once you cut it. The same applies for the top section, and then these bits just screw in. There's a bit inside there with plastic that goes into the bigger hole, and then this just locks over the top of it and squeezes it around to secure it. So yeah, just thought I'd mention this little bit. Yeah, and if you want to be quite accurate with like filing down the actual original pipe, the plastic section that goes on the end, rubbing it down and making sure the diameter is exactly right for the carbon fibre. So it needs to be 20 mil. Just use a micrometer, they're fairly cheap. Again, you get them online. I think I paid £4 for this, so yeah, not really expensive, and fairly accurate. And you can measure like the inside of a pipe by going that way, or the outside diameter with that, and then at the bottom you've even got a depth gauge, so like you put that down in something, you can see how deep it is. Yeah, it's quite handy to do little projects like this. I use it quite a lot, not just for this kind of stuff, everything DIY that involves being accurate really. So yeah, get a micrometer. Right, also other things that you're going to need. A quite a harsh file for filing down the steel pipe section up the top of the detector. Some mini files. I bought this little set. I just used this for like cleaning out the carbon fibre holes after they've been drilled, just smooth them off. And a round file. So yeah, that's about all you'll need really. This is where I'm at so far. So as you can see, I've drilled the holes, drilled another one there for adjusting it for someone else, and the bottom bit, which we've already got on, I drilled, see that fits through there nicely. This goes on here, so now I'm left, I've got the stem part done. The only thing that you have to do is, because the inside diameter on the carbon fibre is actually different to the original, you can't get the size. Let me just show you what I've had to do quickly. So the diameter of this carbon fibre tubing is 22 mil outside diameter, and then the inside, like from there to there, is 20 mil, which means the carbon fibre is 1 mil thick, so 1 mil one side, 1 mil the other. So yeah, so carbon fibre tubing you want is 22 mil outside, 20 mil inside. Now the original is actually 22.5 on the outside, which doesn't really make much difference, but the inside is like 20.5, so it's like 5 mil more, and you can't get carbon fibre at 22.5 or 20.5 or anything 0.5. So what you have to do, like what I'm doing with the actual original shaft, like this should be black, but I basically had to sand down and then test it, you know, by getting the carbon fibre, checking if it fits, and then taking it off, sanding it down a bit more, rubbing it all the way around, smoothing it off, putting the pipe back on until it goes on. And now I've got it to where it can get down to about here, but I've still got to work on this last little bit. When I've finished that, I'll put it all together and I'll show you the finished article. Right, see you in a bit. Okay, so I've finished it. Here's what it looks like. Not a bad little effort, eh? And apart from the work involved in making it, it actually only cost me £7. So yeah, very worth it. Not bad. So yeah, that's how to make a carbon fibre middle shaft. Simple. Get doing it.